Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today I would like to share with you all my final thoughts on the Kunwu Knives Reverse Tux Compact Chad. Now, if you guys remember, or if you don't, if you're frequent watchers of my channel, you would have remembered I had the full-size version of this exact same freaking knife. Now, while I had a pretty good time with it, I wasn't the biggest fan of the tension of the factory Omega Springs. Now I have found a solution to it. I did buy a handful of extra Omega Springs from Amazon. I've put them in many of my crossbar locking style knives, and I notice slight percentages of tension increase. Now, I am most definitely the lower percentage of people who like higher tension Omega Springs. A lot of people are going to be completely fine with something like this. Me personally, I like really strong Omega Springs. Now, within my size comparison size knives, I have two examples of ones that the reason why they've earned their spot to be size comparison size knives is because I genuinely love the springs that are in them. So besides that, I guess we could talk about price. We'll do the size comparisons, we'll take the weight, and then we'll get into really the final thoughts. So this guy is about 260, I believe, 255, 265, somewhere around there. I know it is just underneath $300, and I wouldn't flinch at that price at all. Kunwu delivers, absolutely. I've handled a couple things from them already. I used to have a reverse tux padre, and I absolutely love that thing. I got rid of it just for financial reasons. I wanted to pick up other stuff, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, and it is not abundant in my life. So got rid of it to get new stuff. That's really it. So having this guy, I thought, you know what? I really like the shape and the profile of the full-size Chad, but maybe, just maybe, with enough complaining, Kunwu would at least try to, I guess, bring up the tension of the Omega Springs. No, there was zero effort put into it. Even more disrespect to the people buying. Obviously, I'm just being really over dramatic, but this doesn't actually include extra Omega Springs. What are already installed into the knife are it. Maybe it was just my particular unit, but from what I've seen, other people have also not been receiving extra Omega Springs like you would typically get with a lot of other companies, especially in this price range. At $200, almost $300 something dollars, yeah, I'm gonna complain about that. Omega Springs are dirt freaking cheap, and even if they wanted to sell them on their website and, you know, take a month to send it to somebody, at least offer that, right? Whatever. Not the end of the world. Just get them on Amazon. They're probably gonna be better anyway. They are better than the ones coming from Kunwu, unfortunately, but I will be linking the ones that I buy down in the description because I highly recommend them. I get nothing from linking stuff. My channel is very small. I don't get anything by promoting companies, talking good, talking bad, promoting this, that, and the other. I'm telling you guys, if something's good, buy it because you're going to enjoy it. I've been enjoying the extra Omega Springs. Here's some of them right here. I'm actually running out because I've been passing them like along anytime I sell a knife that has Omega Springs that these would fit. But this is what they look like. These would be considered standard high tension Omega Springs. And really the only difference is that this shape is a little bit different in the way that it curls around the bar, allows for a little bit extra tension. That's about it. So let's go ahead and start with the size comparison size knives. We can start with the smaller ones first, just because this is a smaller knife. The Elite Spyderco Native 5. Free Tiger FT 2103. this is one of the knives that has just comically overpowered omega springs. These things are just wonderful, and it's a $35 knife, so that thing's cool. Let's do some medium-sized carry. We have the Civivi Vision FG, a little bit longer overall, a little slenderer in hand, not by much. The available cutting edge is close, but not that close. So a lot of the extra length just comes from that finger choil there, which is nice. And the other example of elite strength omega spring is the CMB Main Knives Predator. This is a long-standing piece in the collection. I freaking love this thing. I love to beat on it. It takes it keeps coming back for more. So this guy's awesome right here. A whole lot larger than the compact Chad, as you can see. And last two are what I would consider full-size or large knives. Spyderco Manix 2 Lightweight and the beautiful Microtech MSI. Now, if my memory serves me correct, the full-size Chad was still about like half an inch, 3/4 of an inch shorter than the MSI overall. I don't think I had these pieces together at the same time in my collection, but just whatever. But you could see if you got an MSI or if you've handled one, compact Chad is truly compact, and it is a wonderful overall length for what it is, right? I wear large to extra large size gloves, but I have relatively slim fingers, so this isn't something that's super cumbersome for me to manipulate easily. I did run into the crossbar nip just a little bit, and not nip like the Devo nip. I'm talking about, that's what I'm going to call it. There are a couple knives out there that when you put a crossbar lock on them, the way that you kind of position your hand, it's kind of like you push it into your palm. It's going into your palm, and when designers try to maximize the blade and it's very close to sticking out there, when it swings down, it can nip you. It happened with the full size. It's happened with most of my crossbar locking knives, and I just have to adjust to them. It happened with this once, and it just barely got me. But ever since that one time, it no longer nipped me anymore. Let's take the weight on this. This is a relatively dense little guy right here. 4.5. You wouldn't think 4.5 looking at this, but yeah, you have steel liners on the inside. They are not pocketed for weight relieving, but you have beautifully milled titanium over that, and technically this should weigh a little bit more because this comes with a titanium pocket clip, a black matching titanium pocket clip. Looks beautiful, but because it's over the texturing, it's just a nightmare to get in and out of the pocket. Now, I had the same exact thought when I had my Padre, but the only difference in that is that this is a much smaller object that I have to like mash into my pocket and just like shred my pants right off of me while taking this out when I had the milled titanium pocket clip. But with the Padre, it was a much larger, wider piece that I was able to kind of maneuver in a way and have a little bit more grip getting in and out. A grip as in like the width and how the knife actually felt in the hand when going back into my pocket. If you have a diamond textured Padre, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, that's okay. I'm doing my best to explain what it is of what I experienced. But for the majority of my time having this, I just carried it with the wire pocket clip. I don't mind wire pocket clips. At this price point, I'm glad that they included it. would I love to have that beautiful mil titanium clip on it and for it to work as intended? Yeah, of course I would. But I also like having pockets. So wire pocket clip it is. And with that wire pocket clip, it is a dream in and out of the pocket. It's awesome. This does have a captured pivot, so that's nice. This thing is very easy to take apart. The only thing that I've noticed when it comes to Kunwu knives and their crossbar locking style knives is that every single little piece comes apart. And you need to put these back together in a certain way that isn't the same way as benchmade stuff or things made by, you know, other companies that, you know, have this have a similar locking mechanism. This is almost overcomplicated but simplified at the same time. You could see that every little piece was, you know, well machined and well formed to fit together a certain way. And if you do not follow that certain way, you're gonna have one hell of a time putting this thing back together. But if you have time to tinker around with it, which I typically end up doing every once in a while, it's fine. When you follow the steps that need to be followed, it comes back together like a dream. Very easy to clean, very easy to maintain. The blade material here, one thing that is kind of a big thing right now, Kunwu, to my knowledge, is the only one working with this blade material, PM60. It's stupid crazy hard. And I actually sharpened this guy off before sending it out to work knife balance to check out and to, you know, hold against a large portion of his other pieces of Kunwu knives. He has a large collection of them. He's actually sent me some to check out as well. And, you know, I have to say that Kunwu has come a long way. In the best way possible. The nicest thing that I could say about the early Kunwu models that Work Knife Balance thankfully let me check out, they feel like the best parts of Tucson knives, where their blades are thick. They look really cool. Everything is just beautifully machined, but the blades are like stupid thick. And I'm talking about not the best plunge grinds, and sharpening trolls aren't really a thing. Jimping is pretty good for the most part across a lot of their early models. I don't remember the names of them at this moment in time, but I could see a pattern, and I can almost see through the models that I've had of Kunwu, I could see a rapid evolution of them actually listening to people in the community. So that's why I think Kunwu is freaking awesome. I don't flinch at their pricing. I don't think you should either, because they're a manufacturer, a company, a brand that's actually community oriented. Whether they cater to crackheads like me that bitch about the strength of Omega Springs, it doesn't matter. The work that they're doing everything that enthusiasts want. They're doing cool blade finishes, cool blade materials, the design language that they speak. It's not too crazy, but it's interesting enough to get people to just flock to them and just buy out their website. And they've even been dropping on other online retailers like DLT Trading as well, which is really cool. Mind you, if you see Kunwu knives at DLT Trading, White Mountain Knives, or really anywhere else, I believe Blade HQ has gotten some stuff into. They will ship as fast as those retailers typically ship. They're not going to take the 13 years it takes coming directly from Kunwu's website if you purchase stuff from there. I guess I have enough patience because I bought, you know, this Chad and the full-size Chad off the direct website. And that's just something that kind of, it throws people off, and it threw me off at the beginning, and I still make fun of it now because it's easy to make fun of it, that it takes forever, yet every other retailer can send things out like within a week. But and this wasn't a pre-order item, it was ready to go, and it's as if they almost did like a soft release, like they didn't really post about it on Instagram. And I'm all over Instagram. I'm always checking out who's putting what out, who's making what, who's having beef with who, whatever. I'm in it. I'm trying to get into it just to learn, just to stay up to speed, right? And Kunwu knives, they're doing really cool stuff. I gotta hand it to these guys. I definitely want to start when funds are available, which is rare. But when the time comes, I do want to get other things from them. Supposedly, towards the end of this year, maybe the beginning of next year, there's going to be a small padre. I think that would be really cool. If it's a similar build, that'd be pretty neat. I really did enjoy how wide it felt in hand, and that blade was, while it looked really wacky and just kind of weird looking, it was actually very useful in the workplace. And I like stuff that's useful. I'm not at the point in my knife journey where I buy shit just because it looks cool. I'm buying it to make content, to get the feel of different manufacturers, what they're capable of doing, the design language, the performance of different blade materials, and really just to use it. I like using my knives on multiple different things, and I did actually do a lot of cardboard destruction with this, and I've decided that because of how thick this thing is behind the edge, while it is a great slicer, it is just a little too thick behind the edge for me. I understand the difficulties of working with PM60. It is extremely hard, and the reason why the full size Chad, it's kind of rare and it's coming and going here and there. It was also announced that it was no longer going to be made, but then months later they come out with another batch, whatever. But apparently they were having issues with a lot of the blades snapping. Okay, that's completely understandable. They're working with some pretty high hardness stuff. So they made smaller blades, right? A little bit more compact, a little safer to work with. I get it. But I think something like this would have definitely lent itself, and you could see how thick it actually is. Putting even the lightest, the cheapest hollow grind that manufacturing could have come up with at all. I think that would have been really nice. Even if it, took a little bit more time and this thing crept closer to the $300 price point, if they released this exact same freaking thing and announced that it had a hollow grind, still with a really cool heat treat, cool blade material, they'd all be gone. But at this moment in time, I think some of these are actually still available off their direct website. Now, not on other retailers, unfortunately, but if you want one of these brand spanking new, you could still go to Kunwu's direct website and pick one of them up. But if you're interested, I'm actually going to be passing this thing along through Blade Binge, selling it on that platform because it just isn't for me. And a combination of plenty other things, financially speaking, this is money that's just gonna sit here. While I have enjoyed it, my time it being in my collection, I think that Kunwu will come out with something a little bit better in the future, and I'd rather have funds available for something like that. Also other things that I'm looking at and constantly drooling over that I want. So if anyone's interested, let me know. But this will be posted by the time you guys are seeing this. This may or may not already be gone. But because these are still available, this will be discounted. It is used, it is reprofiled and sharpened. The scales are in immaculate condition because this wasn't hard used at all. This was honestly babied. You can see the tiny little sheen right there, right above my nail. That's where the milled titanium clip sits. The wire clip will leave different marks, of course, but I haven't put it on the other side. It is reversible, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, essentially this is the same thing as the full-size Chad, but the tension, I believe, is a whole lot more appropriate because this is a smaller, more compact piece, and it sounds just super snappy and aggressive for how small it actually is. And that's really it. There's not a whole lot more that I gotta say about this thing. I love how it looks. I love the texturing, all the micro milling all over the place. I enjoy that they include a wire pocket clip. I'm not a fan that they didn't include extra Omega springs, even if they are shit. But of course, that is just my opinion on this, on the tension of the Omega Springs. Plenty of people are fine with them. I like that they have a closed side pivot, a decorative side pivot, and it's a D shape, T8s all over except for the actual crossbar lock itself. You're going to need some T6s right there to unscrew those, but all the body and the pivot are T8s, which is quite awesome. So that is really about it. If you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate all your support and your patience, of course. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because I have plenty more videos and content coming you guys this way. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.